Settle back now, content, comfortable, well-fed, and ready for some fine entertainment. Is everybody happy? Then let's go. It's showtime.
So the first thing I did for this project was put some liquid latex around the bottom of the wooden bowl, as you can see on the screen there. You don't have to do this part, but it will make it easier to peel off your hot glue after your epoxy resin has cured. Here I'm starting to outline my pumpkin shape with my hot glue gun. Move slowly so you get the shape correct. If you don't feel comfortable freehanding with a glue gun, use a pencil to outline the shape first. While we let the hot glue dry, we will work on the pieces of the pumpkin face. To make the pumpkin's face, you are going to use your hot glue gun on a silicone mat and trace the shapes for the eyes, nose, and mouth. Here I used an old silicone mat that I don't use anymore, so I could cut it up and make it a little easier to use the molds after the glue had dried. But you can use a brand new mat as well. Be aware that you will not be able to get the glue off of this mat very easily, so don't expect to use the mat again when you're done. For the face of the pumpkin, I used UV resin to save some time. You can use epoxy resin if that's all you have. I also used orange glow powder to mix with my UV resin so my pumpkin face would glow in the dark. After mixing in your glow powder, pour your epoxy into your molds. If you are using a UV resin, use an ultraviolet light to cure your resin. However, do not let it cure completely because we will want to cut the castings down to size. If you have used an epoxy resin, cure your castings for about half the time you usually would, so they are still flexible enough to be cut. Once your pieces are about halfway cured, pull them out of the molds and cut them to the desired size. Here's how my pumpkin face pieces turned out. Next, we will mix up the epoxy to pour our pumpkin. After mixing another batch of epoxy resin, I used pumpkin orange acrylic paint to color my resin. Mix your orange paint with your epoxy resin and pour directly into your bowl. Let your epoxy resin cure for a couple of hours and then place your pumpkin face pieces into your pumpkin. At this point, you will also want to pour the green stem of your pumpkin. Here's how your pumpkin should look at this point. Next, I am going to repeat the same process and make a candy corn candy bowl for you. I will put it in double time so you can review what we did one more time. For this next step, we will remove the hot glue from the bowl. This is when I found out that putting liquid latex under the hot glue made it a lot easier to pick out the hot glue from the bowl. You can see I struggle here for a minute. However, once I figured out that putting rubbing alcohol on top of the glue made it a lot easier to pull the glue off, it didn't take long. Once you have pulled all the glue out of the bowl, you will pour one flood coat on top and your bowls are finished.